Medieval Dynasty has been out for 5 years now, and honestly the development just won't stop. We are talking new maps, co-op for up to 4 people, villagers that actually do stuff now, instead of just standing there, a whole tree planting system, storage that visually fills up as you gather resources, legendary animals coming later this year, a garden decoration DLC, a second full volume of the soundtrack, a move tool so you can reposition buildings you placed wrong, and on top of all that, yet another free new map with a full creative mode dropping in 2027. And no, this is not nearly all of it. It is just a tiny slice of the cycle. As you can see, this is not a studio just coasting on a decent launch. What it is actually 5 years of listening. So if you checked this game out once and kind of moved on back then at this point it might genuinely be worth coming back. Here's everything worth knowing before you buy this. Medieval Dynasty is basically 3 things at once: survival, village building and decorating, and managing a dynasty across generations. Of course, you start with basically nothing, a bit of land, some basic tools and a lot of wilderness. So early on you are hunting, chopping wood, picking berries, so you don't starve. Pretty normal survival stuff. And yes, this stuff can drag. The game definitely takes time to open up. And then it opens up, so you start putting buildings down. A small hut, a well, a woodshed, workshops. And then eventually you can bring in villagers, so actual people who live in your settlement and do jobs. So if you assign someone to the woodshed, then they will chop logs. Now the thing is though, that everyone needs something all the time. Villagers want food, water, tools that are not broken, a house to sleep in. The king also shows up every season wanting taxes. Different crops only grow at certain times of the year, so if you miss the window you're just waiting for the next one. It is one of those games where skipping one thing tends to break something else later down the line. But let's take a look at your character. Your character builds up over time too as well. You get better at whatever you're actually doing, so if you farm more then your farming skill improves. If you hunt a lot then you get the idea. There's a proper skill tree you can invest points in as well, and at some point you find someone to marry, have a kid, and when your character eventually dies of old age, then you keep going as your child. So that's the whole dynasty thing. You can see that the game offers more than building a village. The goal here is really building something that is meant to outlast you. A fair warning though, as I quickly mentioned, the early game drags. The opening hours are very slow and not special. The resources are tight, and villager needs can feel like a lot when you are still figuring things out. The housing rules are also kind of rigid. Each couple needs their own house. You can't simply stick everybody in one building while you get started. All of this does click eventually, but it asks for patience. Okay, so the basics are covered. 5 years of updates, what does this actually mean? What has changed? The full stock update that just came out does something kind of small, but it really changes how the village feels. Villagers now actually use the stuff around the settlement during their free time. So someone chops wood at the woodshed, someone else hangs laundry. Before this, the village felt a little empty, even though it was running. That very same update also made the storage chests visually show how full they are, and it also added dozens of new decorations. And finally let you put ivy on houses, which sounds minor, but people had been asking for that for years. The update before that added tree planting. You gather seedlings when you chop wood, and over a few seasons they grow into full trees. There is also a proper move mode for buildings now. For multiplayer you can build on the Oxbow map with up to 4 people. Everyone splits up jobs naturally, so one person farming, someone at the smithy. On the DLC side there's a garden decoration pack with ponds and hedges and decorative trees, an entire second volume of the game's soundtrack, and also cosmetic packs with fancier clothes, and village emblems if that matters to you. Coming up in September 2026 is a hunting focused update with legendary animal variants. These are special looking versions of existing animals, and they are worth tracking down, since you can mount the trophies in your house. There's a hunting set DLC alongside it, with new weapons and outfits made from those legendary materials. And if you already do own the exquisite pack, then you get some extra content from that drop for free. And then in 2027 there's the tree map coming. It's called the Backwood. It has uninhabited terrain, no existing towns, and it launches with the creative mode, where you don't have to worry about resources, or money or reputation, if you don't want to. At this point the game kind of has something for almost every flavor of the genre. If you're into pure survival and just want to live off the land, then the game has enough of that to keep you busy. If you're more of a builder, then you've got hundreds of decorations, proper road systems, and simply the ability to shape a village that actually looks like decide yours. And if the management side is what gets you, then the whole villager system goes pretty deep once you start caring about skill levels, and job assignments and keeping everyone fed and warm through the winter. But still, this game cannot be recommended unconditionally, because the one type of player who probably won't click with this is someone who wants a fast pace, someone who wants things to move fast, because this game asks you to slow down. And there are people that bounce off that pretty hard in the first few hours, but also simply people who can't take it anymore after 30 or 40 hours. But if that slower pace doesn't bother you, then there's a lot of game here. There is clearly more on the way still, and you should also not expect any deep combat. Don't go into this game wanting Kingdom Come style fighting, or battles on the scale of Mount and Blade. The combat is more of a side system. It really is a game for players who enjoy slow and long-term progression more than constant action.